Okay, I'm not that old. I once went to my uncle's house and I watched him play this game, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline. At the time, I didn't know what the game was because I didn't know English. Like, I barely know what the fuck. But it looked so fucking cool that I wanted to find out what it is. And I played it. Let's see Seth's review of it. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines review, Final Nights Edition. Trademark by SsethTzeentach. Let's check it out in the count of 3, 2, 1.
Hey people, Seth here. Tonight I'll be covering one of my favorite RPGs, a cult classic that brings you back no matter how many times you finished it. Do you love shopping at Hot Topic? Do you hate natural sunlight? Have you ever wanted to suck off the homeless? If you answered yes to any of those, then I know exactly the game for you. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, released in 2004 by Troika Games. Bloodlines takes place in modern day LA. But alright. It's really good, but I wouldn't put it like... there are RPGs that are fun, better. This is so much more fun to play, you know? So the gameplay is actually so much fun. By Troika Games, Bloodlines takes place in modern-day LA. But our story begins in the Old Testament. So, to understand the lore, I'll need you all to whip out your Bible and flip to Genesis 4. But I'm not Christian. Cain and Abel, in the Bible, the two brothers made offerings to God. Abel offered the Lord some lamb chops. Cain gave him some Weetabix or some shit. Naturally, God liked Abel's offer a lot more. So Cain disabled his brother by murdering him with a fucking Wait, what the hell? Is this really true? Bibles and flip to Genesis 4. Remember Cain and Abel? In the Bible, the two brothers made offerings to God. Abel offered the Lord some lamb chops. Cain gave him some Weetabix or some shit. Naturally, God liked Abel's offer a lot more. Yeah, like so who the Cain fuck likes... disabled his brother by murdering him with a fucking rock. God was very unhappy with Cain. For killing his brother? Nah, God doesn't give a shit. Cain's crime was murdering his brother and then having the audacity to lie to God. In the Bible, God punishes Cain to wander the earth. In Vampire the Masquerade, God punishes Cain by giving him superpowers.
Cain, for crimes against your creator and your fellow man, I sentence you to immortality. I'm also giving you super speed and super strength. You can also turn invisible. Would you like to polymorph as well? I'd like to turn into a burning bush and scare the shit out of Moses. Oh my god.
Moses, Musa, we call him Musa.
Vampire. The only downside, he can't walk in the light and he has to drink the blood of others to survive. God's true punishment is giving Cain the ability to sire children. But with immortality, the only thing left to fear is death itself. That fear becomes paranoia, jealousy, hatred, not for humans, but for your own kind. And that fear ends up consuming you. Just as Cain murdered his brother, he is now forced to watch for all eternity as generations of his own children murder each other. Where do you come into all of this? You're a random schmuck who gets embraced against your will in a seedy LA hotel. When you wake up, you're a vampire. But before you get comfortable, the Camarilla boys break in, stake the boat, and ship you off to vampire court. Turns out, siring vampires without permission is a big no-no and a violation of a masquerade, which is
oh my god, I forgot how bad the texture looks back in the... What is that? It's like it's like 64 by 64 texture widened up to the max. But to be fair, that's the best they probably could do. Holy shit.
Of a masquerade,
it looks good though.
Basically,
I'm gonna zoom out. Oh my god.
Keep mortals from finding out about the supernatural and from realizing that Vladimir Tepes was in fact a high-level Tsimisi who
they need to make this
dining chairs. Because if humans ever found out, that's a guaranteed death sentence for every vampire on Earth. The judges make their verdict. Your sire gets decapitated by Magilla Gorilla, the African muscle man behind Sebastian LaCroix, Camarilla Prince of LA. And you're next on the chopping block.
Oh no.
At least you got
a dragon appears.
However, Nines Rodriguez, leader of the LA Anarchs, protests against your immediate execution. Suddenly struck with a flood of emotion and newfound empathy, LaCroix decides to spare you your life. Instead, he sends you off on a suicide mission to get killed somewhere else. Clueless and alone, you're thrown into this game as an unwilling pawn in a world of darkness.
What? Oh, man. And you're a goddamn Malkavian, too. Wow. You really are fucked.
But as with any chess
fuck
game,
you, man.
if you underestimate the pawn, you've already lost. Survive, understand, and identify the other pieces on your board. Once you do, you'll have to make a choice between being a player and being a pawn. And I should warn you, a pawn is always sacrificed to protect the king. Before you start, you have to pick your clan. There are 7 to choose from. They're generally very interesting and offer unique approaches to the game.
Holy shit, alright.
Bruja and gangrels are hobos and furries, respectively. They're very hot-tempered and have poor impulse control.
You can. Okay, I'm gonna play this game again. I don't remember the character creation at all.
Bruja and gangrels are hobos and furries. Bruja and
For the history, anti-paladin. What? Like, one is like not the other. Oh my god.
Gangrels are hobos and furries, respectively. They're
That's
very
awesome.
hot-tempered and have poor
That's
impulse
awesome.
control. Tremere can do this.
If games could be like this again, oh my god. Larian, help us.
They're
Alright.
basically undead blood mages. Toreador are
That
very
is the best thing
definition of
ever.
vampire sluts. Being a room temperature piece of ass does have its advantages though. You get what you want without conflict. Ventru are like vampire aristocracy. Basically, they're assholes who think they're too good for sucking off a homeless.
Diseased blood. What the fucking snow? Get the fuck out of here, you little shit! Eat what you can get, motherfucker!
Don't say that to their
Asturian,
face,
it
though, or you might
flies!
find your neck snapped. Nosferatu are hideously deformed. Women ignore you or call the police when they see your face.
Yeah, what
Spoiler!
Lord! Oh, sweet Jesus!
Oh.
Damn, man. Don't be sneaking up on a brother with your crackhead skin disease test tube baby looking ass.
Jesus
Damn,
Christ!
my pants. I don't sell no soap, so what the hell you want?
So
Can you
really
kill
no
any
difference
NPCs?
from being
Because if
alive.
someone tells a vampire
Malkavians
that-
are batshit insane. Their curse makes them unhinged, unstable, and even worse, completely lucid and prophetic. They can also spread this insanity to others. As a result, they've got some of the best interactions and dialogue options in the entire game. Which may or may not include talking to stop signs and being interrogated by your own television.
And that the source of the detonation possibly came from you. Hey, heard anything? Kind of musky.
It's no small
Holy shit, this is what the fuck? What? This is like the Dark Age! I'm gonna play this game again.
secret that Clan Malkavian is my favorite. If it's your first time playing Bloodlines, I recommend playing any clan which isn't Malkavian or Nosferatu. Why? Because the Madness Network isn't random. It's foreshadowing. It's knowledge you know but shouldn't. And all of these revelations will go over your head when you can't make sense of it. Also, getting spotted out in the open is an instant masquerade violation for Nosferatus, which could result in your immediate death. It's
Oh my
better for
God.
seasoned players who already know who and where everyone and everything is. Also, I hope you like sewers, because you're gonna be seeing
That's
a lot of
interesting.
sewers as a Nosferatu. Hope you packed snacks. But why would I play this old-ass game a second time, Seth? I got a lot of stuff to do. I got a reading to catch
There's
up on.
shit in
because,
it,
you goddamn
lots of
Zoomer,
stuff.
The game isn't very long. Length isn't the point of it. It's the choices you make. And there's a lot of different choices you can take depending on your character, which come back to help or haunt you in the future. It's
Oh,
a
no.
very well contained and believable world that never breaks your suspension of disbelief. You might be turned off by the vampires, and to tell the truth,
Not really.
I was too. So was my mom, and now she's probably finished the game more times than me, because this game isn't about vampires, the undead, or the supernatural. It's about humans, and regardless
Alright, the only thing about Vampire Diaries that I actually enjoyed was Elijah. That's it. That's literally nothing else, really.
supernatural. It's about humans, and regardless of whether they're mortal or damned flesh, they all all act, think, and feel human. They've got real fears, hopes, and motivations, which
Oh
drive
my
their
god, was that
character. Every single
blowjob?
character,
Oh my
no
god.
matter how central or insignificant they are to the plot, are written fantastically well. And that's the main praise you hear for this game. The story and the dialogue, which has some goddamn amazing voice acting.
I'm gonna play it.
Proprietor and salesman of the month several years in a row. The ladies call me, oh God, but you can call me Fat Larry with an F. I know I got a weight problem, I just don't give a fuck.
Alright.
This is not so life.
Alright.
Your nerves not so deadened that you cannot express shock. Tell me, child, is my appearance that frightening? Or is it my knowledge of you that is so unnerving?
Hey! Welcome to Sang's Herbal Remedies. I am Sang. How may I assist you? Selling remedies is honest work. I came to America after discharge from Chinese Herbal Remedies Forces. Aging parents with store. Definitely, I am now American citizen. God bless the Allegiance flag.
Holy crap, bro! What the fuck? Oh my god! Okay, I love this game.
Chinese invented
Jesus
gunpowder.
Christ, though.
Yes, I know guns. Hold on, please. These are good remedies for many problems. No credit cards.
Kids.
Acknowledged.
Kids don't know nothing.
No more Yankee, my wanky.
What the fuck?
I need food.
What the fuck, dude?
Through
No,
most of the
thank
game,
you.
you're given tasks to complete by LaCroix. These serve as the main quest line,
Thank you,
and you'll
my
need to finish them
man.
to progress the story and unlock
Bro.
new locations. You'll get to meet the other major powers in LA as well. There's the Camarilla, which uphold the status quo and enforce the Masquerade religiously, Anarchs, who respect the Masquerade but hate the politics and hierarchy of a Camarilla, the Sabbat, who don't give a shit about the Masquerade and seek dominion over mankind, and finally, there's the Kuei Jin, Asian vampires that have recently moved into Chinatown and filled it with gacha machines.
Holy
that
shit,
use
international.
the negative chi formed by gambling, organized crime, and gacha balls to fuel their
Goddamn.
aggressive business practices. Besides the main story, there's dozens of side missions to complete. None of these are your standard fetch quests either. They force you to think and decide for yourself how to best approach them. Completing missions is important, since that's your only way of getting the experience points necessary for upgrading your character. Most of them can be resolved peacefully by talking or stalking. Some of them, however, cannot. And whether it's from other vampires or the same dude in a wife beater copy-pasted 200 times, violence is inevitable. So building your character to be a smooth-talking, anemic slug might not be the best idea. There's a lot of nightclubs in this game, by the way. They're a good place to feed. They've also got some pretty good music. You can also dance. Even outside, there's some
That
very
dude.
nice ambience to fit the mood. It makes you feel like you're actually there. This game taught me that Santa Monica is a shithole, so don't feel bad about the people you kill there. In a way, you're saving them from the pain of living in Santa Monica. Bloodlines controls quite simply. You play it in first person while interacting with objects and NPCs, and you pan out to third person whenever you're in combat.
Oh, I love it.
It's enjoyable, but mostly
Holy
it is not
shit.
enjoyable. Combat boils down to mashing left click.
Wait.
Mostly, it is not enjoyable. Combat boils down to mashing left click while desperately scrolling with your mouse wheel and smashing right click to reactivate blood buff. Oh yeah, every clan's got vampire superpowers or disciplines unique to their bloodline. Many of these cost a lot of blood to use, but they're visually impressive, they can end fights instantly, and they break the monotony of endless button mashing while hoping and praying that your enemy's life bar is smaller than your own. You could use guns instead,
Oh, no.
but unless you've invested skill points into firearms, you might be dead by the time you take a shot. Outside of combat, you'll be doing everything from investigating serial murders to evicting unfriendly spirits out of hotels.
Wait, so you can't small talk everything? You can like be like, you can bart it out, bart it out. That's a
The Ocean
thing now.
House Hotel is there to remind you that just because you're a spooky bloodsucker doesn't mean
What?
you're not capable of terror. The Ocean House is so infamous that it's got its own console command to skip the entire sequence. It's probably one of the best horror segments I've ever seen in a game, and they managed to do it without a single jump scare. Just a feeling of pure condensed dread. Your inventory is conveniently infinite.
That's
You never
worse.
have to worry
If
about
you never see the fucking like, if suspense keeps going and you never, yeah, that's dread. Like, yeah, if suspense keeps going and you see the
space,
jump
you'll
stairs,
pick up
yeah,
useful
that sucks.
items like blood bags and firepower.
Lovely.
And Less
We need those.
useful items like birth control and estrogen pills. This game's difficult, and there's a few frustrating points in the story that might make you and East Fire.
I need to read them.
And
oh my god, dude, that's god. Well, to be fair, it's true. Oh my god.
less useful items like birth control and estrogen.
Wait a second. Wait, but if you get it as a male character, will you grow boobs? Right? Your facial hair will slowly like drop. Probably, right? Is the game actually registered that? That is. I'm so fucking. What?
Pills. This game's difficult, and there's a few frustrating points in the story that might make you quit. Point number 1. Hollywood sewers. At some point in the story, you have to find the Nosferatu, as they've gone into hiding for reasons unknown. This has nothing to do with a 3 billion Tsamisi flesh puppets clogging up every sewer drain, and you're gonna have to fight them all, including this big bitch who throws spare ribs at you. Also, there's no blood down in the sewers, so I hope you brought an entire fridge supply of blood with you.
Oh no.
Luckily, the unofficial patch fixes this completely. The good old games copy comes with a patch pre-installed, so you can take a convenient shortcut and save yourself the pain of going through this programmed hell. Point number 2. Werewolf Park. In this universe,
that's a bit too much.
Werewolves are incredibly rare, but they're also invincible killing machines. In fact, you can't fight this puppy at all. It's immune to damage and can stun lock you to death in several swipes. This all happens in a span of 5 seconds, so most players never even get the chance to understand what the fuck is going on before they meet their final death. Again, and again. Even though it kills you in 5 seconds, you're expected to survive for about 5 minutes. Oh, and forget about regenerating your health. Werewolf claws burn through your flesh, so it can't be healed back. However, after years of dying to that same werewolf, I found out you can actually kill it. What the hell? How was I supposed to know that you're actually meant to run into the observatory, flick the circuit breaker outside, run back in, open the dome, lure it into the dome, and crush it to death? How the hell was I supposed to know that? The answer is, I didn't. I had to look it up on the wiki.
Oh my god!
Through the same mission each playthrough, this is oddly satisfying. However, if you can endure past those rough patches in the story, you'll start piecing together what's going on. The concern and focus of every major faction in LA.
That is too much! Oh my god, that is too much for a fucking boss that kills you in 3 hits!
One way or another, centered on the arrival of a certain archaeological treasure, the Ankaran sarcophagus, which throughout the game has a bad habit of getting stolen. What's inside? Who knows? An old Assyrian king or a slumbering antediluvian, one of the oldest granddaddy vampires out there, who, if you traced your blood far back enough, might be one of your original fathers. Half the city believes the latter. They also believe that the moment Father Dearest wakes up from his slumber, he's gonna be hungry. Real hungry, and he'll sate that hunger by feasting on his children. Wherever we go,
why self is that?
Cain, which makes our fate. Your fate and the fate of the Ankaran sarcophagus are inescapably intertwined. Will you open up the sarcophagus or seal it away for all eternity? That choice is up to you. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, a very unique, flawed, and fantastic diamond of a game. Terrible combat, 0 out of 10. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. I'm just fucking with you. 10 out of 10. One of my favorite and one of the most replayable RPGs of all time. There's very few games out there that keep pulling you back over and over again, and
not anymore,
manage to make each playthrough different, and this is one of them. Go buy it, go play it, you won't regret it. Get sucked into the atmosphere, get a craving addiction for it, and replay it every few years for the rest of your natural life, because there's nothing quite like it. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos.
Brilliant.
All truly wonderful.
This video is old, so
next week.
oh man,
Open door. You Jehovah Witness.
I wonder if Seth's gonna love it.
I could use a Halloween-looking S&M.
Does Seth play turn? Oh yeah, he played turn-based a lot. Holy shit, I've seen 3 videos at least of him playing turn-based. Because BG3 is basically this, but if you had it, if it's like in D&D world, instead of, you know, Twilight world or like Vampire world.
Then make my way down to your.
Okay, I don't want to get spoiled anymore. I want to play this more. Let's see. Any last words?
Senator Robert Thorne, a candidate not accused of being a murderous child pornographer.
Sorry, this is the only channel you get. Good night, and have a pleasant evening.
Yeah, that mind race thing, when you could like make people do horrible stuff and like, yeah, that is insanity. That's like Tadpole's Dark Courage or some shit, you know? But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Seth is always the best. I'm gonna download this game again. But for now, have a nice day. Goodbye. See you all later.